Hold on. I want the Richie. What's the word, YouTube? It's your boy Drew1K. We back with another reaction. Now we got 4 missing persons found alive on video. Damn. Sound pretty wild. We finna go ahead and get into this reaction, bro. If this is your first time watching me, go ahead, like up, sub up. Bro, it's 2:20, bro. I'm not even tired, I don't know. I'm in a weird mood right now, bro. But let's get into the video.
On May 8, 2021, a woman named Mali Morales was driving down the Packer Drive Northeast Road alongside the Rogue River in Belmont, Michigan. She and her 2 roommates were on their way back after a night out, and they were all in a cheerful mood. However, their smiles quickly vanished as they stumbled onto a horrifying scene. At around 2:30 a.m., while driving near the Rogue Hollow Court, one of the passengers spotted a strange figure lurking by the side of the road. This encounter was extremely terrifying, but it also sparked the group's curiosity, and after some deliberation, they decided to turn around, and this is what they then came across.
What the
Oh man.
I'm not. No. Hell no. What the Oh.
They were soaked.
The fuck?
What the
Oh.
No, Stop.
I'm not. No. Hell no.
What the Oh.
Hell, I wouldn't stop either, bro. I'm sorry. You can call me wrong, bro. You can call me whatever, nigga. I'm not stopping for no niggas on no back roads, but fuck you. It's over with. You done fucked yourself.
They saw what looked like a young woman drenched from head to toe as if she had just crawled out of the nearby river. She also looked like she was crying, banging her head on the road and waving for help. Mali posted the video of this encounter on TikTok and it instantly went viral, leading people to come up with all sorts of far-fetched theories about ghosts, spirits, etc. However, as wild as the theories got, Mali later posted several videos shutting them down and revealing what really happened. According to her, they kept circling back and driving past the disturbed woman several times after recording the first video to make sure she was okay. While none of them had the nerve to get out of the car and approach her, they did call the cops and waited nearby until help arrived. The woman was then taken to a nearby hospital where she was treated for cold exposure. As it turns out, she somehow fell into the Rogue River from the east side and swam across it onto the road.
Yep, she had to have come up out of the water. Yep, there's a dig spot there. So she came up from down there. That's had to have been why she was so wet.
Why the fuck did she jump in the water?
This was the spot that she had left. I don't know why or what was going on.
She was off that motherfucking K2. She was off that shit or something.
After regaining some composure, she also revealed that the woman was from Kalamazoo, a town that's over 60 miles from where she was found. However, she had no recollection of how she got to Belmont and fell in a river so far away from home. From what we know, she was most likely experiencing a severe mental break, where her memory gap was caused by a rare condition known as fugue state, something we covered in our previous video on the most disturbing mental disorders. For those who don't know, a fugue state is a rare condition where a person suddenly loses their memory and starts acting like someone else. They might wander off, travel long distances, or do things completely out of character without realizing anything is wrong. It's usually triggered by extreme stress or trauma, and once it's over, the person often has no memory of what happened. And while this condition is quite rare, all the signs suggest that's exactly what happened to this mysterious woman from Kalamazoo, especially since the authorities later found her car parked behind a random house just east of the river. She likely drove to that neighborhood on her own but had zero memory of doing so, which fits perfectly with the known symptoms of fugue state. Mali also shared her video in a local Facebook group, hoping to find more answers about what went down. Unfortunately, the responses she received weren't as helpful as she'd hoped, since most people in the neighborhood believe the screaming and noises were just the sounds of a wild animal, like a coyote. But there were a few responses that deepened the mystery. Like this one person who remembered meeting her earlier that same night, stating, "Saw this person between Van Dam and Packer Woods around 10:15 p.m. Friday. Asked her if she needed help, to which she responded no. Another person also mentioned hearing about a woman walking into his neighbor's house, yelling hello 3 times and then leaving on her own. And while this added further evidence supporting the fugue state theory, these responses still left a key question unanswered. Who was she? Malie tried to contact both the police and the hospital for answers, but despite her insistence, both the police officers and the hospital staff refused to reveal her real name. That said, we still have enough information to make an educated guess. Based on everything I could uncover, the mysterious woman in this unsettling video was most likely Mei Zhou. She was a 28-year-old Chinese woman who went missing from Kalamazoo on May 6, 2021. Before her disappearance, she told her friends that she felt like she was being followed by a stalker she met online. Unfortunately, these are the only details about her case that were made public. I couldn't find any clear answers on whether the stalker was real or if she was just overwhelmed by paranoia. In either case, the constant fear and stress of feeling watched likely drove her to slip into some variation of the fugue state we discussed earlier. Hopefully she received the mental help she desperately needed and is now in a better mental state than she once was. Tracking down a missing person can be an extremely daunting task, but tracking down a person's personal information often isn't. For example, just by knowing Booker's color and trying to give me this my per 5 million these other 14 or the two were simply going around town and having fun. What they didn't realize was that this stream would end up saving someone's life. It happened a few hours into this stream when they sat down at the Starlight Hotel Cafe for lunch. As they waited to order, a guy walked up to their table wearing nothing but neon green shorts. Lacey and Clicks initially assumed he was just another fan eager to talk to his favorite streamers, a pretty typical scenario for popular IRL streamers. But something about this young man didn't sit right. He was trying to keep a conversation going, but his words were slurred and nothing he said really made sense.
Hey, are you sparring, bro? Are you sparring?
Yo, you good, bro?
Good what?
The streamers figured he was either drunk or on some kind of drugs. For content, they started poking fun at him a bit before shifting their focus back to their stream. But the guy continued to linger around, acting very odd and saying unintelligible sentences for the next half hour or so before finally leaving them for good. The streamer simply labeled it as an odd interaction from someone under the influence of something or another and continued on with their stream. Lacey later uploaded an edited down version of this stream on his YouTube channel. And that's when he got an email that made him realize the significance of what they had just caught on camera. 2 days after this video went up, Lacey received an email from a man named Trent claiming to be the brother of the guy seen in green shorts. It read, "Hello, my name is Trent Coleman, and my missing little brother from Michigan was on Clicks and Lacey's stream in Miami. He was wearing green shorts and they were making fun of him. He is not on drugs, he is schizophrenic, and he is 17 years old. If someone can contact me about this, I would be so thankful. He has been missing for 3 months, and his case was put on homicide in Michigan." In most cases, emails like these are just trolls trying to mess with creators. However, after some research, Lacey discovered that Trent was actually telling the truth and posted this new development on Twitter stating, "3 months ago, a 17-year-old kid went missing and was put on homicide. Yesterday on stream, he came up to me and Clicks, and now his family knows he is alive and in Miami.
That's bro. That's W, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Real life, that's them going out there and streaming that stuff and posting that, bro. That's God, man. You feel me? He got found because of that.
Not sure if I should make this public, but I'm hoping somehow this helps him be found for his family." In a reply to his tweet, Lacey also attached an article that provided additional details about the case. Apparently, the teenager's name was Troy Coleman, and he had been missing from his home in Michigan since May of 2024. According to the article, Troy was last seen in Mount Morris Township around 9:30 a.m. on May 17th. In the 3 months since his disappearance, he had somehow traveled from Michigan all the way to Miami with no medication, no money, and no clear explanation of how he got there. This was extremely concerning considering Troy's lack of vital medication for his schizophrenia was known to cause serious hallucinations. His sudden reappearance only deepened the mystery. With no leads and no logical explanation, Michigan police were left so baffled that
that nigga fucking teleported down there. How the fuck? Bro, how far is Michigan from Florida? I know that's. Let me see. How far is Michigan from Florida? I'm gonna do it on here. How the fuck did this nigga? How the fuck did this nigga get 22 hours away from home with no ride? Nah, he had to work. That little nigga had to work, bruh. He had to do something.
They even began investigating his case as a potential homicide. So the fact that Troy randomly appeared on Lacey and Clix's stream and his brother just so happened to be watching that stream was nothing short of a miracle. But somehow the coincidences keep piling up, and what happened next made the whole situation even stranger. Troy was still on stream. Another young fan approached the two streamers and tried to strike up a conversation. However, before he could even introduce himself, Troy interrupted them again and started saying something to the younger fan. He was still talking incoherently, which made the streamers even more uncomfortable and confused about his intentions. During this time, he also gave the younger fan the styrofoam cup he was holding. The young boy quickly took a sip of whatever was in the cup and walked away. Lacey's cameraman noticed the exchange and immediately pointed it out to the streamer. By now, they were convinced that Troy was on drugs, and that raised a serious concern. Had he just given the kid something laced? Not wanting to ignore it, Lacey decided to confront Troy, asking him directly what was in the cup. But to their surprise, Troy's answer was a lot more coherent than expected. He simply stated that it was just a soft drink from Beacon Hotel.
What was in the drink?
Kidding.
What was in that drink?
In the drink?
Yeah. You gave it to a
It was Coke from Beacon Hotel.
like Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
Making sure you gave it to the kid.
I gave it to a kid.
This coincidental interaction gave authorities the crucial lead they needed. Troy was, in fact, staying at the very hotel he had mentioned.
Nah, that's crazy. Hopefully it was just Coke. If you gave a nigga something else, that would've been wild.
From there, it didn't take long for investigators to track down Troy and reunite him with his family, who were overjoyed to have him back. In a later interview with People.com, Troy's father, Weston Coleman, shared even more heartbreaking details of what Troy went through. According to him, Troy actually wanted to visit Florida to find and meet celebrities. He did his research online and saved up as much money as he could before setting off. Troy made it to Atlanta by bus, but that's where things took a turn for the worst. During his stay in Atlanta, he was robbed of everything he had. Left with nothing, he traveled the rest of the way to Miami completely broke. Despite the hardship, his family was ultimately glad that he was still alive and well, with his father stating, "I'm just glad he's alive at this point, and now can't believe we found him. We all feel a lot better, and we thank everybody." From what I can find, Troy's been living with his family in Michigan ever since, and has managed to stay out of any more trouble.
ATL young niggas got
On
to,
August
bro.
3,
It's fucked up.
2013, 40-year-old James DiMaggio invited family friend Christina Anderson and her two kids, 8-year-old Ethan and 16-year-old Hannah, over to his home in Boulevard, California. He claimed it was just a farewell visit before moving to Texas. And this wasn't anything unusual. James had been a close friend with both Christina and her husband Brett for quite some time, and was like an uncle to the kids. And since Brett was away for a 3-month job in Tennessee, James helped the family regularly with things like driving Hannah to and from her gymnastics class. However, what seemed like an innocent invitation quickly turned into a horrifying nightmare. It started on August 4 when the children's grandparents called the police and reported the family as missing after not hearing from Christina all day. They also informed the police about the family's plan to visit James. However, when investigators reached James's home, it was already engulfed in flames.
What the
Firefighters rushed to the scene and suppressed the fire. Unfortunately, they were too late. Inside the burnt house, they discovered the bodies of Christina Anderson, her son Ethan, and even the family dog. And while this could have been nothing more than a tragic accident, the reality was far more cruel. Later autopsy discovered severe injuries on Christina. These included signs of plastic cable ties around her ankle and arms, duct tape marks around her neck and mouth, multiple fractures in her right arm and both legs, a cut on her neck, and signs of at least 12 heavy strikes to the head.
It was that nigga. It was that nigga, bro. Come on, bro.
Her 8-year-old son Ethan also had multiple fractures throughout his body. However, despite the horrific scene, there were no signs of James or Hannah anywhere near the house. It didn't take long for investigators to connect the dots and realize that James DiMaggio was the mastermind behind this horrific crime. It also became clear that he had orchestrated the murders not just out
Bro, never trust a nigga named James, bro. You can never trust a nigga named James, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
of violence, but with the intent to kidnap Hannah. His actions were calculated and driven by some twisted obsession as he took her from everything she had in her life. After learning about this, the police quickly issued a statewide Amber Alert in hopes of getting any information regarding James and missing Hannah's whereabouts. In the meantime, investigators also discovered security footage of James passing through the Border Patrol checkpoint in Pine Valley at around 10 p.m. This also prompted them to launch a massive manhunt spanning the entire Pacific coast from British Columbia to Baja California. However, despite the massive effort and the hundreds of man-hours put into the search, the manhunt turned up empty. Every lead seemed to result in a dead end, and the odds of successfully rescuing Hannah started to dwindle with every passing day. Things looked bleak. That is, until 3 days later, when two horseback riders spotted a man and a girl while trekking through the remote wilderness of Cascade, Idaho. They had seen the broadcast of Hannah's disappearance on TV and instantly recognized the young girl and her captor. They reported the sighting to authorities, who instantly began investigating the area, and soon after they found James's car with its plates removed to avoid detection. However, it still took them 3 more days to track down the campsite James was hiding in. The FBI had set up a jet with a sophisticated long-range camera recording from thousands of feet above.
A jet?
Had set up a jet with a sophisticated days to track down the campsite James was hiding in. The FBI had set up a jet with a sophisticated...
I ain't gonna lie. They not coming like this for no black folks, bro. I'm not even trying to make no white... I'm not even trying to make it a race thing. But they put a jet out to find Shorty? I've never heard of that shit.
Sophisticated long-range camera recording from thousands of feet
a
above,
fucking
which
jet?
is what you're seeing now. This footage confirmed they had found the missing Hannah. On the 10th of August, the FBI took it upon itself to rescue Hannah and mobilized a tactical team for the mission. They kept eyes on James for some time, looking for the right moment to attack. However, he was sticking close to Hannah, which made it near impossible for the rescue team to make their move.
Bro, I would've just sniped that nigga. I would've said, fuck it. Clear. Pew.
Fortunately, after some time, James moved away to gather some firewood. And while he was completely oblivious, Hannah actually spotted a rescue helicopter and started waving for help. This was the perfect opportunity, and the FBI didn't let it go to waste. They quickly moved in and carried Hannah to safety. After noticing the rescue mission, James took out one of the guns he had with him and fired at an officer. The rescue team then returned fire, resulting in him getting shot 6 times in the head, arms, and upper torso. Hannah was finally safe. And while this was one of the most terrifying...
6 times in the head? Oh, they fucked it. They fucked them up. I ain't gonna lie. Damn, 6 times in the head, boy. But they was not playing.
Experiences a teenage girl can have, Hannah's managed to completely bounce back. She is now 27 years old and is happily living with her husband and 1-year-old son in Vancouver, Canada.
Tight shit. Hey, bro. Thank God for rescue.
On the 27th of May 2013, at around 4 p.m., 73-year-old Robert McDonough disappeared from his home in Portland, Maine. Now, an elderly person going missing is extremely stressful on its own. However, what made Robert's situation even more dire was the fact that he was also suffering from dementia. For those who don't know, dementia is a mental condition which makes it difficult to remember things, think clearly, or even recognize familiar faces. People with dementia can forget everything from their own names to the faces of loved ones, leaving them confused about where they are or how they got there. This can also extend to forgetting where they live. For someone...
Yo, I pray to God, like, nobody in my family ever gets dementia, bro. Like, bro, I'll be hurt. I'll walk up and be like, hey, auntie, nigga, who the fuck? I'll be like, oh, auntie, that's me. Bro, I would be so mad, bro, like, damn.
With dementia, wandering outside can quickly turn from a harmless mistake to a life-threatening situation. A person with memory loss isn't just lost in terms of direction, they're lost in terms of identity and awareness. They forget how to care for themselves, how to recognize danger, and how to make decisions in an increasingly hostile world. These conditions could prove to be lethal for a healthy young adult, and the danger is increased tenfold for a frail elderly man trying to navigate a world that no longer makes sense to him. He could have easily wandered into traffic or tripped and fallen in a remote area, and no one would have known. Put simply, Robert's life was in extreme danger. This is also why the authorities moved quickly after receiving the missing report and began searching every corner of the city within hours of his disappearance.
Search and rescue teams spent more than 14 hours searching an area of Leamington after 73-year-old Robert McDonough, who has dementia, disappeared Monday afternoon. Around 6 a.m., search teams were briefed and started to intensify their effort.
It was going into the second operational period, which means we're starting to ramp up. using a lot of GPS technology. Well, again, we'd have our pilots, we'd have ATVs, canines.
However, they were having a hard time figuring out where Robert could have gone. When someone with dementia goes missing, searching for them is not like searching for someone who's just wandered off. In most cases, they don't even realize they're lost at all. They might walk aimlessly or even retrace the same steps without ever reaching familiar ground. Their confusion can send them in any direction, far from where they should be.
Bro, it's just crazy. Like, just imagine forgetting everything, just start walking around aimlessly. Like, that's fucking wild. Like, I do have my moments where I travel to house. Like, I just be walking around for no reason. I'd be like, bro, what the fuck am I doing? Is that like early signs of dementia?
Then, about 14 hours into the search, something happened that no one saw coming. On May 28 at 6:30 a.m., a reporter from Portland's local network was recording a section about the disappearance of Robert on the street, when, out of nowhere, an old man walked into the frame.
No way. No way Robert pulled up.
At first, the reporter brushed him off as just another bystander. But after a few moments, he suddenly realized who the elderly man was. This was Robert McDonough, or Bob as he went by, the man everyone was looking for.
Anybody give a phone call?
Calling the warden service there.
I'm still on the phone.
This is Bob. This is you identifying as Bob McDonough?
I think so. It's Bob McDonough. Yeah.
He looks a lot like a
Watch
guy.
yourself.
Yeah.
Watch yourself.
Yeah. That's Bob McDonough.
Fortunately, he was completely unharmed, despite being out in the cold all night. Upon realizing his identity, the news crew immediately contacted the authorities. And it wasn't long before Robert was reunited with his family. But here's the thing. Robert returning like this was nothing more than a stroke of good luck.
Like,
While
what
his
the
story had a
fudge?
somewhat happy ending, it could have just as easily turned into an irreparable loss.
Bro just pulled up, hands in the pocket. That shit looked kind of creepy, bro. I was like, yo, is this the same nigga that left, bro? Hell no. What the fuck did you just do? But shit, that's the end of this video, bro. Like, let me know what y'all think. If y'all got anything y'all want me to watch, bro, y'all can just send it to me, bro. Or y'all can link it down below. Like up, comment, sub up. But yeah, man.